It is another bumpy evening across the Bluegrass State. Severe thunderstorm watch is out for many. We'll break down the threat just ahead.
As the Supreme Court hands down a historic ruling on same-sex marriage, dozens of people line up in Lexington to get their marriage licenses. How they're celebrating today's decision.
Coming up, we'll take you to the old courthouse in Lexington, where a statue of a Civil War figure was defaced last night.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Good afternoon to you. We are tracking some severe thunderstorms moving across the Bluegrass.
We could see some damaging winds, heavy rain, maybe some hail as well, which is why our WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day continues tonight. So we begin with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. He's tracking the storms on First Alert Defender. Chris?
Yeah, another active evening out there. Surprise, surprise, what has been a busy couple of weeks across the Bluegrass State. Severe thunderstorm watch until 11, Central Kentucky. That is getting ready to be extended into eastern Kentucky. So areas of eastern Kentucky are likely to be placed under a watch that will go a little deeper into the overnight. Current watch is out until 11 this evening. What we're seeing now on Live First Alert Defender, those thunderstorms that continue to really crank up. Severe thunderstorm warning here in the northern parts of Wayne County, southern parts of Pulaski County, but the severe thunderstorm part of that is outside of the warning. It is now to the north of that and is moving into the Somerset area as we speak, with the potential for, again, some damaging winds and some large hail. This is a storm that produced some golf ball size hail a little earlier in the northern parts of the Wayne County area, but you look at that and it's outside of the actual warning. A little farther to the southwest, thunderstorms here gearing up again. Severe thunderstorm warning, southwestern parts of Adair County. Storm that is the strongest of the bunch is right on top of the Lake Cumberland area yet again. That'll roll its way toward Lake Cumberland, and again, it's kind of coming on the heels of that storm that is on top of Somerset now. The whole mess, that's a lot of thunder and lightning and heavy rain working into parts of central Kentucky as we speak. We put a track on that to the northeast. In about 1 hour from now, that will be right on top of the Lexington area. Between now and then, stops in Danville, Frankfort, Shelbyville, and of course it's on top of the Louisville area now. But those thunderstorms are coming at us from southwest to northeast. Guys, we got additional rounds of thunderstorms developing behind this. That's going to be the trend as we go through the evening. Mainly high winds, hail with those strongest storms. Everybody, though, will have to keep an eye out for the possibility of flash flooding.
All right, Chris, a busy night for sure. Now, if you have pictures of the storm or any damage, we would like to see your eyewitness pictures. Just look for the eyewitness section on WKYT.com or share them to our Facebook or Twitter pages.
An historic day for the United States. Today, the U.S. Supreme Court declared that same-sex couples have a right to marry anywhere in the United States.
While the decision impacts all 50 states, Kentucky was one of 4 states that prompted the ruling. The 5-4 ruling means that Kentucky plus the other 13 states with bans must stop enforcing them. Same-sex couples were already allowed to marry in 36 states and the District of Columbia.
Within hours of that ruling on gay marriage, Governor Beshear ordered county clerks in this state to start issuing marriage licenses. And it didn't take long before people were lining up to get one.
Yeah, tonight Monique Blair is live for us in downtown Lexington, where couples are celebrating the Supreme Court's ruling. And Monique, just this morning, they didn't know if they would be protesting or celebrating.
Well, Sam and Amber, prior to this morning's Supreme Court ruling, the people who are out here right now didn't know if they would be celebrating or protesting the court's decision. But as you can see, the end result is definitely one of celebration. Now, more than 50 people are out here right now celebrating the Supreme Court's ruling, calling it a historical day. On April 28th, the Supreme Court heard from 4 plaintiffs fighting to prove same-sex marriage is a constitutional right. Kentucky plaintiffs Greg Burke and Michael DeLeon and their attorneys are expected to be out here soon, taking part in the celebration that is kicking off a full weekend of what many supporters are calling a weekend full of nothing but excitement.
Yeah, the whole weekend is going to be just a whole different mood than what it could have been. You know, experts had kind of told us that they thought it would come down Monday, that the decision would be Monday. So it was a little surprised that it was today, but I think it sets us off for a, you know, just a great event both tonight and tomorrow of celebrating, you know, the Lexington community as a whole and how welcoming and just wonderful it is.
Now, this rally is set to wrap up at about 6 o'clock, where there will then be a mass exit on Versailles Road towards Keeneland, where the 8th annual Lexington Fairness Awards will be held at 7 o'clock tonight. Reporting live in Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
The Fairness Awards recognize community activists and leaders. It also raises money for Project Speak Out and the Senior Pride Initiative. In eastern Kentucky, some towns are also celebrating the court's ruling. Vico Mayor Johnny Cummings says since his town passed a fairness ordinance, this ruling is the correct next step.
We're just so thrilled that they passed this, to even out everything out and have all civil rights to everyone, And of course, Vico is very proud to be part of the fairness ordinance.
Not everyone is happy about the ruling, though. Some church leaders tell us they stand firm with the Bible and they don't know how the decision will affect them down the road. One pastor in Perry County says his church will release a policy in the fall. For more coverage of today's decision to legalize same-sex marriage, you can go to WKYT.com. There you'll find the latest headlines and more reaction to the decision.
Vandals targeted a statue of a Civil War figure. Lexington police say someone spray painted the words "Black Lives Matter" on the statue of John Hunt Morgan outside the old courthouse last night. Morgan was a Confederate general and cavalry officer in the Civil War. As Mike Linden tells us, the city is considering moving the memorials.
It's plumb stupid. That's the way I look at it.
Lexington city crews are cleaning up a well-known statue outside of the old Fayette County Courthouse. Lexington police officers say someone spray painted the phrase "Black Lives Matter" across the front of the John Hunt Morgan statue on Main Street overnight. And it started a discussion about removing the statue, which has Confederate ties.
I would like to see these statues moved. I don't think that our city on Main Street should have a statue that is most prominent, that celebrates our two Civil War generals or two Civil War leaders.
While Lexington police do not have any suspects as to who defaced the statue overnight, according to Mayor Jim Gray, the city plans to reconsider the Confederate memorials throughout the city. While some people I spoke to agree with the mayor, some say the statue holds a deeper meaning.
This man is a part of history, just like Martin Luther King is a part of history. We can't help what our forefathers done.
Osborne says the message on the statue is upsetting.
It's time for people to grow up. White is white and black is black. We're all created equal.
In Lexington, Mike Linden, WKYT.
While police do not have any suspects, they do plan filing a charge of third-degree criminal mischief, which does not carry a jail sentence. The Lexington Parks and Recreation Department also says there was vandalism in Thoroughbred Park. They tell us that many of the fountains in the park are not working. Investigators believe they were tampered with, but they do not think what happened at Thoroughbred Park is related to the vandalism that we just showed you at the John Hunt Morgan statue.
With more storms on the way, some communities are still cleaning up from the storm that rolled through overnight. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Madison County. Heavy rains washed out several roads across the county last night. In Berea, flooded roads trapped cars. One driver was stranded just off of I-75 on Walnut Meadow Road. The storms also knocked out traffic lights and power to homes and sent trees crashing down onto roadways.
Road guys, and they're out cleaning culverts out and just doing damage assessments.
So the water has somewhere to run off before the next storm?
Yeah, water has run off. I understand we're supposed to have another round of storms early this evening, so we'll just see what comes when that gets here.
We're told that no one was hurt during the storms. Emergency management officials say after they finish cleaning up, they will brace for the next round of storms. In Pike County, a jury has found a former Democratic state representative guilty of bribery. It took the jury less than 2 hours to find Keith Hall guilty. Hall was accused of paying a state mine inspector tens of thousands of dollars to overlook safety violations at coal mines he owned. Hall faces up to 10 years in prison and could be fined up to $250,000.
They are beautiful, stylish, and cheap. Now, that sounds like an unlikely combination. You're right. Con artists have discovered there is money to be made, a lot of it, in one of the hottest products on the market.
And you will be disappointed, and you will have thrown your money away.
Postal inspectors say the multi-million-dollar designer handbag business is a breeding ground for con artists.
The handbags or purses would appear to be from designer labels, but in effect they were fakes, they were knockoffs.
Inspectors recently broke up a counterfeit handbag scheme involving two people who claimed they were selling designer purses at a steep discount.
The problem with counterfeit goods cases are that they are very seductive. They started very small. but they were lucrative. And what started as something simple and small was able to grow because it generated money.
Which became the pair's downfall. They were trying to convert large amounts of cash into money orders when postal inspectors took notice. Hundreds of victims lost more than $2 million because of this scam.
When you see something that's 10%, 20% of the retail value, you should immediately say there is something wrong with this product.
Some advice from postal inspectors: be cautious when you buy things online.
What we see countless times is they will pirate the logo, they will put it on the fake website, they will sell you the fake product, and you will get a thing that in no way represents the real thing.
The two people involved in this case were convicted of trafficking counterfeit goods and sentenced to a year in prison. They also were ordered to turn over $650,000 to the federal government.
The number of drug-dependent babies in Kentucky continues to climb. Ahead on WKYT News at 5:30, what researchers believe is causing the increase.
I'm Bill Bryant. Kentucky's Commissioner of Veterans Affairs says the Supreme Court ruling on marriage will require some changes, and a major Kentucky employer could reportedly be sold. The bottom line is ahead.
Severe thunderstorm warnings are breaking out into parts of Pulaski County and now into sections of Casey and Lincoln. We will track those and the rest of the severe weather threat in just a moment.